Minnesota has at least a dozen counties that are sanctuary jurisdictions, including the Twin Cities of Minneapolis and St. Paul. With us now, Tim Pawlenty, the former Republican governor of Minnesota. Governor, always good to see you. Welcome back.
Good morning, Hena, to you and the NewsNation viewers.
As a former governor, how could this halt in federal funding impact a city like Minneapolis and the heightened tensions we're already seeing in that area?
Well, of course, these large cities get massive amounts of federal aid directly and indirectly. So if that were halted, it would affect programs of all sorts and at a very large magnitude. But I do think it is time to revisit sanctuary city policies in this country and to have places basically declare themselves exempt from and unwilling to cooperate with enforcement of federal laws is, I think, a flawed premise. And the rationale they use for it is we don't want to have people feel like they can't report crimes because if you're a victim or a witness, we don't want them to get swept up in immigration raids. Well, you could make an exception for those people. But the idea that we're just going to have blanket sanctuary policies across cities or counties, I think, is quite stupid.
Let's get to the judge declining Minnesota's request, forcing the Trump administration to end its immigration crackdown. This just happened overnight. What do you make of that ruling, Governor? And what would you recommend to the White House on future operations in your state to appease both sides?
The ruling that you reference, Hena, is not a surprise. Most legal experts predicted that it would not be successful. In fact, the judge, I had a chance to look at an excerpt from her ruling this morning, said that the cases cited by the state in bringing that lawsuit weren't even close to getting over the legal hurdle needed to prevail. So I don't think it's a legal surprise. But on a practical level, to your next question, I do think both sides in Minnesota would be well served to de-escalate the federal government by, as they have, looking to draw down some of the forces in exchange for getting some local cooperation, and then retargeting the entire mission on getting criminals, not doing random sweeps on streets and getting people who are otherwise not causing problems or don't have a criminal background. I think that's a good compromise, and I think that's what Tom Homan is trying to get done.
I'm glad you mentioned the border czar because Homan is in charge of ICE operations in your great state. He is in Minneapolis currently. He says targeted arrests will be carried out, and the administration is, quote, working to draw down the federal presence in that state. What are your thoughts on Homan now being in charge? It seems positive.
I think it's a very welcome and needed change. The tone that he presented is calm, it's thoughtful, it's clear. And what he's really asking for is, look, could we get the sanctuary cities to turn over the criminals and give us some notice before they're released from county or city detention facilities or jails? And unfortunately, because those are sanctuary cities and counties, they have refused to do that. And it seems like a reasonable request, especially if Tom Homan is dangling we'll draw down the federal forces back to a more normal footprint. I think that's a fair compromise, but the locals have been so far unwilling to say yes to that proposition.
There was some communication this week, and I hope that is welcome. Minnesota Governor Tim Walz, Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Frey, they met with Homan a few days ago. Is this a step in the right direction? How can these talks help foster more cooperation on both sides and, of course, ease tensions that we're seeing?
Great point. And the fact that they're actually talking for the first time instead of just yelling at each other was a good step. And while they didn't come to an agreement, the fact that they're in communication, trying to find a solution, those are excellent developments. I do think, as your viewers may recall, Minnesota is not a sanctuary state. So the real onus here is on Minneapolis, St. Paul, the cities and counties that are, to say yes to what Tom Homan is asking for in exchange for this compromise. And again, so far, they have not said that.
Governor, I have to ask you about DHS Secretary Kristi Noem. Democrats are calling for her to be impeached. Some Republicans are also expressing concern with how she's handling immigration enforcement. President Trump is defending her. Here's what he said.
She's doing great. I mean, we have a closed border. We've taken out thousands and thousands of killers and murderers and everything else, removed them from our country by the tens of thousands. And we have the crime rate that's the lowest in history. So how's she doing? I think she's doing well.
Can you talk about whether Trump's endorsement is enough for her to keep her job?
Well, he gets to decide, and with that endorsement, you would have to expect that she would keep her job. Obviously, she's on some thinner ice now than she was some months ago because of all the public scrutiny and criticism. But if she has the president's backing, that's all she needs to keep her job. I will also say, Hena, in fairness, you know, she's reported to have talked to the White House. She was mostly criticized in the wake of the Preddy shooting for how she responded quickly. But there's been some reporting that she got direction from the White House at a staff level, not the president, as to how to respond. And so if she was only doing what they told her to do, that seems like they're looking to blame her for something that she was just implementing at their request.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.